Welcome. This is MoneyHeart, where we explore the emotional side of money. I'm Camille Diaz, and today we're discussing overcoming hijacking moments. My guest is Deb Olejownik. Deb has a master's in organizational leadership, and she's a certified leadership coach. She works with high-achieving women who are successful, but at times they become hijacked with stress, frustration, self-doubt, criticism, and they are sick and tired of being threatened by burnout, self-doubt, and self-sabotage from hijacking moments, which are those moments that happen instantly and unexpectedly and derail them from what they were on track to accomplish. The result Deb's clients are looking for is to break free from hijacking moments with increased confidence, clarity, congruity, and courage, which inspires them with forward momentum and backbone and heart. Deb, welcome to MoneyHeart.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Camille.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I'm glad you're here. Tell us a little bit more about what these hijacking moments are, because this is your specialty.
Yes, so hijacking moments, everyone has them. And what happens is they happen instantly and unexpectedly and can totally derail you from what you're on track to accomplish. They feel much like anxiety, and it can be as low meaning low feelings, such as you forgot to save the data for the budget meeting, all the way to burnout and self-doubt.
Wow. Okay. So kind of just anything that sort of really takes you off track from where you were headed. It just swoops in and you're, next thing you know, you're completely thrown off, staring at the ceiling, scrolling through Facebook for 3 hours, that kind of thing.
Totally hijacked. These are feelings because it's all based on emotion. Mm-hmm. And I know that you talk a lot about emotion and finances. Right. Well, emotion, we all have emotion, and they range from fear, anxiety, stress, burnout. I mean, there's just a number of things that we feel when we're hijacked, depending on what the hijack is.
Right. So you had a really big hijacking moment in your life that it affected you for quite some time. Tell us what happened.
Yes. I was hijacked by cancer. It not only hijacked me, but it hijacked my entire family. My youngest daughter was with me the day that I received the diagnosis. And she had only been in town 2 days. She had just recently moved to Oklahoma. And she said, "Mom, I'll go with you to the doctor's appointment, and then we can go celebrate my new job." And we're thinking, great, this is awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Went to the doctor, and the doctor and assistant came in and said, "Mrs. Olejownik, you have cancer."
Wow.
It's a day that I'll never forget. And the emotions were, as you can just imagine, were all over the place. I felt really bad for my daughter because she'd only been in town 2 days. We hadn't seen each other in over a year. Oh. And then she gets this news.
Wow.
So she's totally hijacked as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she said to me in the meeting room, she said, "Mom, I don't know how you're taking this news. You're so strong. How can you be so strong taking this news?" And I said, "Honey, we're going to get through this." She said, "Well, look at me. I'm an absolute basket case." I said, "We'll get through it, honey." Now, did I know how we were going to get through it? I didn't have a clue. I was totally clueless. I didn't know much about cancer.
Right.
I just didn't know. So it was a crazy time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And now you, if I'm remembering correctly, you had actually just moved from a different state not long before. Is that right?
Yes, I was only in Oklahoma 11 months when I was diagnosed.
Wow.
And talk about feeling alone. I mean, I had my husband was here and my oldest daughter was here, but I knew no one. I had no friends to call on. I didn't know anyone. I mean, I was trying to make friends, but it takes a while to
It takes a
develop
while.
good
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was a very lonely time for me. And cancer is a very lonely disease.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. And it does take a while to establish those friends that you can call for something like that. That,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So how did things go? How did you make it through treatment? How did all of that work out?
Well, cancer and everything that goes along with cancer and the treatment, the stories are all true. And the first 4 weeks, first 6 weeks were
Mhm.
the absolute worst
Mm.
because I had to have this treatment called the Red Devil. And believe me,
That's not encouraging.
it was awful. And so everything you hear about, chemotherapy in the first 6 weeks, all true. Lost my hair, sick, just could barely function. It was awful. Lost weight, all of that.
Mhm.
And and how it went was I would have a treatment, and then the next 2 weeks I'd have another treatment. So
Mm.
the week that I had the treatment, it was awful. But the
Right.
second week was the recovery week, and I felt better.
Mhm.
And so I would eat little bits because I knew I had to eat.
Right.
But let me tell you, it's hard to eat when you don't have an appetite. And
Yeah.
so in order to make it look like I ate, the dogs always sat next to me. So I'm always giving the dogs little bits so that they could help me eat because
Oh
it
my goodness.
was awful. It was absolutely awful. And then I'd start feeling really good, and then it was time for another treatment.
Oh
But
man.
I got through all of the treatment,
Mhm.
and then after all of the chemotherapy, then I had surgery. And then after the surgery, I had radiation, and I started feeling much better with the radiation.
Mhm.
And then I rang the bell in December of that year, and let
Oh
me
wow.
tell you, it was everyone was happy. It was a joyous occasion. I have pictures. My two daughters were there. The lady that helped me with the recovery of treatment, cancer and treatment.
Mhm.
If I can mention her name is
Sure.
Edie Colbert, and she runs the Stonebrook Project. The
Yes, she was
Stonebrook
on an
Project,
episode a few weeks ago. Not long ago, we did an episode with her. Yeah.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. It was, I thank Edie a lot because Edie was the first real friend I met,
Mm.
and she really saved me because the day that I met her, of course, I had no hair. I really didn't get my hair back until it didn't start growing back until like January of the
Mm.
following year.
Mhm.
But Edie helped me tremendously because because I had cancer, I qualified for the free spa services. So I always got an oncology massage because it made me feel so good. And the interesting part about that is with the oncology massage, which is special, it moves the chemotherapy out of pockets that it hides
Ah,
in your body.
yeah.
And that made me feel so much better because the chemotherapy was doing the job, but
Mhm.
I was able to get it out of those hidden pockets so it could do a better job.
Mhm. That's really awesome. Yeah. And when you say rang the bell, that's the bell you get to ring when you're cancer free. Is that because not everybody knows how that works?
Yes. So I rang the bell, and the day that happened, again, I'll never forget this one either. So I'm standing there, and I've got my hand on the little rope for the
Yeah.
bell
Sure.
because everyone's taking pictures, and I'm standing there smiling, and I've got my cap on, of course. And then they said, "Okay, ring the bell," and I'm like, "Yay!" So excited to ring the bell. I couldn't believe I got I was diagnosed April 12th and rang the bell December 19th. I would have
Wow.
never expected to be cancer-free in that short time. It was absolutely amazing.
That is very short. I mean, what, eight months
Yes,
roughly? Yeah.
yes. And what the doctors told me is that because I work out and take care of myself,
Mm-hmm.
that is what shortened my time so that I was able to, my body was strong and I was able to fight the disease.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I rang the bell December 19th, I was ready to start working out again because I love to work out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so weak from everything. It took a while to build up
Yes.
my momentum.
Yes, it does.
And it's just like it's the same scenario, if I can use a metaphor, the same scenario as, do you know, when you're in debt and then you're trying to crawl out, you have to work your way up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started in January of that next year, and I said, okay, I want to up my game. I'm healthy. I have a second chance.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I decided to do CrossFit. Now, I
Oh,
know
wow.
that sounds ridiculous.
It sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot. Yes.
And, I worked with this specific coach, and she was just absolutely amazing. Now, I know it sounds crazy, especially at my age, and then, trying to do CrossFit, and I just finished cancer, but she was incredible with me because she knew that she had other cancer patients that were participating in CrossFit,
Mm-hmm.
and they were around my age, and all of us are cancer free.
Mm.
Of course, I'm the only one that actually has to wear one of these beautiful sleeves for the rest of my life.
Compression
But
sleeve.
she knew that. The reason why I wear the sleeve is because I have lymphedema due to the cancer. So I have to take care of my arm so that it doesn't swell, because when the swelling happens, it feels like my thigh is up here on my arm. So I have to take, I'm very diligent about taking care of my arm. But my CrossFit coach was great, and she just worked with me. And when I'm working out, I feel like amazing. I just feel like I'm so amazing and so empowered and inspired, and I feel like $1,000,000.
Are you still doing CrossFit?
I am not doing CrossFit right now. I'm doing parts of CrossFit, but I'm doing it at home. Because of COVID, I stopped going to the gym because I had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to protect my immune system.
Right.
So I'm very careful.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been all through COVID. I've always worn a mask. I still wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
I also am very protective of myself and putting myself out there into the world. So I'm starting to get better now, but here's the thing. I did a lot of Zoom meetings. Everything has been virtual for me, and it worked out perfect for me. It worked out perfect for me.
Yes.
And that's what I like.
Yeah.
And I'm just now getting to the point where I'm out meeting people again. And when you haven't done that in a long time, like almost a year, it feels funny at first.
Yeah.
But it also feels so good because it feels liberating.
Right. Right. So you had quite a few of these hijacking moments because you had cancer and then you started CrossFit, which was a choice, so not a hijacking moment. But then COVID jumps in and stops you from doing this thing that you found that you love that keeps you healthy. And then, we got to switch everything to Zoom, and then you got to go back and meet people in person. So it's like, oh gosh, I don't remember, like, have I brushed my teeth today? Like, am I good? All this kind of stuff. So what, and you also talked about debt a little bit. So I want to circle back to that, but while we're on hijacking moments, let's go into a little bit of tips that you might have for people to start to work through these or to kind of get a handle on things when one of these hijacking moments happens?
That's a great question. And everyone wants to know that answer because everyone has hijacking moments.
Right.
Whether the intensity, people just want to be able to work through the hijacking moment so that they know what to do when it happens again, because it is going to happen again, but
Sure.
it might not be the same kind. And so one of the very first things is to build your self-awareness. That is very key. Self-awareness is very key to dealing with hijacking moments. So what do I mean by self-awareness? First of all, you have to know yourself inside and out. You have to know yourself. You have to know what it's like, how, know your feelings, know what you are feeling, what your emotions are when something happens. You have to be able to identify those emotions. What's triggering those emotions? Because that is key, because we need to disarm the emotion. We need to disarm the triggers that are triggering those emotions when you have a hijacking moment. So there's 3 key pieces to discovering your gifts from hijacking moments, because believe it or not, that sounds crazy, but you do receive gifts from hijacking moments.
Every time.
And the very first thing is to know what is important to you. You have to know what's important to you so that you can know, understand, and decide what you're going to do about this hijacking moment. The second key is to be able to know what you are passionate about. When you know what you're passionate about, that changes everything. When you're passionate about something, it gets you out of bed in the morning.
Right.
You feel inspired. You feel encouraged. You just feel amazing. And you want to do whatever you're passionate about, you want to do that. So first you talked about what is important to you, and then you couple that with what are you passionate about. And then the third one is, what is your purpose? Because we all have a purpose, but sometimes we can't find our purpose because our purpose is locked within. And it's always right under our nose because it's right here at the heart. It's at our core. And once you know what your purpose is, then you know that you can get back on track, be on the right path, because you've now coupled what's important, what is your purpose, and now what is your passion. When you know these 3 things and you pay attention to them, you will know what your gifts are from hijacking moments.
Yes.
And if I may share, one of the gifts that I received, and I've had several hijacking moments. I've had, back from when I was younger, and I broke my back, and then I've had all these other injuries, and then I had cancer. But when I had cancer, that was a life changer right there, because that was the biggest hijacking moment I've ever had in my entire life. But here's what I discovered from knowing what's important to me, what's my passion, and what is my purpose. When I discovered that, then I discovered my gift. My gift, I have a second chance at life.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything I can to take care of that second chance at life. And what I want to do is I want to help others that experience hijacking moments. I want to be able to help them overcome, because they can. I want to help them overcome their hijacking moments. And I want to give them a second chance, because there's nothing that feels grander in the world to me than having a second chance at life. And that's just for me. Yeah. And so what I'm doing with that also is that I know Edie Tobert very well. I help them create a volunteer training program for their nonprofit. And so I am committed to helping Edie, because Edie helped me when she didn't have to, but that's she awesome. Did. And I want to give back to her.
That's so great. That's so great. Uh, I know that we talked before about how you did not have any debt before your cancer, and then you came out of it, and like pretty much everybody else who has cancer, there was some debt at the end. So, since it's a money show, let's chat a little bit about that hijacking moment of being in debt when you weren't before and were, excited to not be, and how are you working through that?
So that's a great question because once you're debt free, it's freeing. It's so freeing. It feels good. You live comfortably.
Mhm.
And then when I was hijacked with cancer, and then there's all the bills come in and
Right.
all of the prescription costs come in. And I remember the very first couple of prescriptions that I had to get before I even started treatment. I looked at the prescription and I looked at the cost, and there were three prescriptions. All three were anti-nausea prescriptions.
Oh,
All
oh
three of
gosh,
all three,
that's a little daunting.
and they were $300 a piece
So $900 of prescriptions before you've even started treatment.
before I've even started treatment. And I just, it was such a, I don't even know, like I can feel the emotion right now. I feel that
Mhm.
emotion of remembering to going through that and knowing that I haven't even started treatment and I've already got a $900 prescription bill.
Mhm.
What
Mm.
is the rest of it going to be like?
Right.
And it was, you're talking about, I went through chemotherapy from May until the end of August.
Mhm.
I can't even tell you how much that stuff costs.
Right.
And then I had to have surgery.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I had to have radiation weekly for 36 weeks.
Wow.
It's overwhelming. And I felt like I was drowning in debt.
Mhm.
It was almost like it was so heavy on my heart. I cried a lot. I cried a
Mhm.
lot
Mm.
because I didn't know how I was going to handle all of this.
Right. And something a lot of people may not think about until they're in it is when you're going through all that treatment, you can't exactly go to work. So you're not able to really
Oh, yeah.
earn income. I mean, even if you weren't exhausted, you still have all the appointments you're doing, but you just told us how awful you feel. So you couldn't probably even physically go in to work or have a Zoom meeting or anything. You can't really earn money while you're going through this.
Some people do. I could not. I
Hmm.
was very sick.
Hmm.
And then so when you're hijacked by cancer, and I didn't never had any experience with cancer before. So
Hmm.
I mean, I heard all the stories,
Sure.
but I just, I didn't know. And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be able to coach because you have to be in the right
Yeah.
mind frame to
Right.
coach.
Yes.
And I didn't work. I didn't work the majority of the time that I was going through treatment because I didn't know how I was going to feel. And then I had to deal with the fact that I'm completely bald. I mean, and let me tell you, when you lose your hair,
Hmm.
you don't just lose this hair.
On the top of
You
your head.
lose every, yeah, on top of
Yeah.
your head, you lose hair everywhere. In other words, I even lost my eyebrows.
Hmm.
Now, my eyebrows didn't come back all the way. So, what you see today,
Hmm.
they're tattooed.
Nice.
Because to me, eyebrows are a little bit important because I saw myself with absolutely no hair.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's a different view of yourself. But you
Yes.
know what? I stayed strong because I knew that I had to stay strong. Yes, I felt like crap, I'll be
Hmm.
honest,
Hmm.
but I tried to stay strong for my family.
Yeah.
because I knew I had to. I've always told my girls, things are going to happen to you in your life. Look at me. I've had a million things happen to me in my life.
Sure.
From the time I was a very little girl all the way up until now. You can overcome. It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you accept that you are willing to overcome, you will.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing. Most people look at hijacking moments and they think, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. I don't like this at all. And I don't know what to do about it. And they wallow in it.
Yeah.
And then they say, it's never going to get better. It's like, why wallow? Why? Do something about it. You can do something about it. When you accept that you can't change it, I couldn't change cancer.
Sure.
But I could accept that the cancer is not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I can do about it.
Right.
I can say, okay, you know what? Even though I can't change this, I can't change the diagnosis, the disease, anything. Here's what I can change. My attitude. I changed my attitude.
Yes.
I changed how I could feel about it.
Yes.
I changed those feelings. When you experience profound acceptance, life changes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
And then you move forward. And I'm all about profound acceptance and moving forward.
Yeah. And I love your point about controlling the things you can control, because really you can control your attitude and you can control your activity.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't control anything else, can't control what comes at you, can't control what everybody else does, but you can control how your attitude is about it and what you do. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, fabulous. Fabulous. All right. So what are you doing to get out of debt? What's your kind of system on the debt? How do you move forward so that you're not hijacked by that? What is your strategy?
So I've developed a new coaching program.
Mm.
And this coaching program is all based on hijacking moments.
Mm-hmm.
So it's based on self-awareness, because that's critical. Self-awareness and emotional hijacking moments, because hijacking moments are emotional. So I have been pouring myself into this work, and I've been having market research calls with people as I develop this program, because the market research guides me into developing the program and pricing the program based on what the market wants.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous idea. And I'm so excited about it because it's picking up traction.
Nice.
And this is what I'm doing to start. I've already got the program built, and this is what I'm doing now, is to start working with high achieving leaders. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about it, high achieving leaders, they're the ones, people like to call them the workaholics, but they're the ones that are most motivated. They're the most inspiring workers. They go because they want to go. They take care of themselves and they continue to move forward.
Yep.
But every once in a while, they get hijacked.
Yeah.
Now, these leaders are very successful, but every once in a while they get hijacked. And when they get hijacked, it kind of sets them back a little bit. And they're trying to figure out what to do. But sometimes they don't always know what to do. I just had a conversation with a president on Friday. Mm-hmm. And she said, I'm still reeling in this and I don't know what to do. And Deb, I really need your program. In fact, my whole organization needs your program. And you know what? I know more people that want it, and I know other organizations that can use your help as well.
Nice.
And this is my work. This is what I'm called to do.
Yeah.
And I love all of it.
Yeah. So
Because
by
I
working
know
in
that
what your gift is, you are able to generate income, climb out of the debt, and don't have to be stressed about it because you know you're on an upward path.
absolutely, absolutely. And it all starts with the frame of mind.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. I truly appreciate it.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And I'm so happy that you asked me, Camille, to be a part of your podcast.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. As a strong, compassionate advocate for her clients, Deb helps high-achieving women leaders break free from hijacking moments. She offers a 3-month coaching program to help them achieve their desired results. She helps them apply accountability and tracking with application-driven tools, tactics, strategies, principles, and key skills, and a little creativity for immediate results. She offers assessments along with the opportunity for one-on-one coaching and VIP coaching. The financial result that this offer usually generates is that women leaders save themselves time, money, and frustration, that they are knowing that they're a congruent leader and that in their leadership with respect to their business, organization, and teams for whom they are responsible. Deb can be reached through her website, coachingwithheart.net, or by emailing deb@coachingwithheart.net. Thank you as well to our listeners and viewers. I'm your host, Camille Diaz. This show is sponsored by Serenity Financial, a Five Rings financial agency, specializing in financial education, living benefits, and guaranteed lifetime income. Be sure to follow MoneyHeart on social media at MoneyHeart Show and on our website, moneyheartshow.com. Today's money mantra provided by Deb is, debt is like a disease. In order to be healthy with your finances, you need to be debt-free. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.